no point. So I'll post the rubric shortly as well, just so it helps a little bit. So you're gonna have pre-wrap right from the midfoot. I said I go up to the ankle like that, round. Right, so there shouldn't be a window. You've got to cover the heel a little bit more because there'll be windows otherwise. So then what do we do? What's the next step?
The top.
So we do 2 anchors at the top, right? Right, 2, 1 midfoot. Okay, so this tape is kind of a little bit loose. I mean, Matt hates it, but it's practice tape, so practice tape's better than using the real tape. Just gets us, I can buy like 3 times the amount of practice tape, so it means you can practice 3 times the amount. I just prefer it that way. So we're gonna go behind the malleolus for the first stirrup. A lot of people aren't doing that. You gotta go right behind. This strip should hit at the back of the heel, right? So it should hit at the back of the heel, tear it right where you started on the other side, lay it down, and try to like lay it and smooth it out, because what will happen is if they move their foot into plantar flexion at all, it will just pop off, and then it will ruin your tape. So then overlap by half anteriorly, so come forward, overlapping by half, tear it exactly the same point, pull up to evert the foot, lay it down again, try to smooth it out. One more, overlap by half, come forward, tear it, right? So at that point, you've done 3 stirrups from medial to lateral. It has to be from inside to outside. I'd strongly suggest you practicing on the right foot and then practicing on the left foot. Most people get really good at doing it on the right foot, but then if I give you someone that's on the left foot, you don't know what you're doing. So you need to practice on both feet to get an idea for medial to lateral on both feet. Then you're gonna anchor the stirrups down so they don't come away if they point their foot. Then, if you look at the bottom picture, the goal is to do cover strips. Cover strips are basically just to kind of seal up your tape. They don't really functionally prevent anything. Remember what I said, as you go up towards the calf, so as you go up the leg, this is the way the tape angle should go. But then as you go flat, it's going to flatten down. And as you go closer to the ankle, it's going to go into like a downward arrow, right? So what I'm doing is I'm trying to adjust my angle as I go. You can do it continuously, but you don't have to. Now, when you get to the ankle, it's going to be really awkward. If you try to lay a strip down, it's going to wrinkle on you, and you're going to be like, why is it wrinkling on me? My suggestion is this. When you get to the awkward area and you feel like you're getting wrinkles at the back, which you shouldn't, I've got one though, you should try to lay it behind. So start with a roll behind, lay it down, like that. And then you'll find you can lay it first so you don't see wrinkles, and then you can continue to do that and cover. Basically, we're trying to cover all the gaps other than the gap at the heel. So sometimes if your angle's good, you can go round, come through the foot like this, and cover those strips. Cover those strips. So I've covered every strip other than the heel, because the heel should always have a gap on it, right? You shouldn't get beyond this point today, right? If you did, can you flick the slide down? I didn't bring my pointer thing over. There you go. So if you do, then you've got these 7 and 8 steps, figure 8s and heel locks, right? Figure 8s and heel locks, I'd really suggest there's about 10 of these. These are practice strips, right? If you've not done figure 8s and heel locks, you won't get it the first time, you won't even get it the 20th time. So the best thing to do is use these because they don't stick, but you can practice the technique of a figure 8 and a heel lock, right? So I'll show you with this first, and then I'll show you with the tape. But figure 8s basically look like this. So for this, obviously it doesn't stick, so you've got to go around the ankle once just to hold it in place. A figure 8 is to prevent plantar flexion. All it is basically doing an 8 from the ankle down to the foot and then back up to the ankle. So you go round, create an X there on the top of the foot, and then you go round and you finish the 8 like that. Okay? And that will prevent them pointing their foot down, or resist it at least. We're supposed to do 2 figure 8s and 2 heel locks, right? I alternate, so I do 1 figure 8 and then I do a heel lock. Then I do another figure 8 and I do a heel lock. But when you're practicing like this, just keep practicing the same movement. So go like that and go, okay, I got it. Unravel it, do it again, and just keep practicing it. Go, okay, figure 8 goes here, 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 here. Got it, right? And then when you do a heel lock, it's confusing. So a heel lock, there's a few ways that you can do a heel lock. But the way I like to demonstrate it for you is ankle to heel, ankle to heel. So you go around the ankle on the medial malleolus on one side, and you go around the lateral part of the calcaneus on the other side. And that's a heel lock. You're locking the heel at the back. So you're not actually like, a lot of people think heel locks is just do this. Go around through the heel. That's not heel lock. So a heel lock is round the ankle, lock the heel at the back. Go around the other ankle, lock the heel at the back on the other side. Okay? It's confusing. So watch again. It's on Instagram too, but I do it in a slightly different technique. So round the ankle, lock the heel. Round the other ankle, lock the other heel. So when you do it with tape, honestly, seriously, everyone wants to do it with tape, but you'll get way better if you just use these for a few days before you even try to use tape, because you'll just have to keep unraveling the tape and restart, and it takes time. Plus it wastes tape because we don't really know the technique yet, so it's better to practice with this. So if I do it with this tape, I do it slightly differently to what I'm going to show you, but you can basically do a figure eight like this, right? Go round. You've got to get your angle right, so otherwise it's going to wrinkle. So the tape is pretty clever. If it wrinkles, it's because you're going in the wrong direction or you're going at the wrong angle, so you've got to adjust. So I go through the foot. If I see it start to wrinkle, then my angle's probably slightly off, so I can see it starting to wrinkle. I've got to like adjust it. So I'm going to go down through the foot, round the foot, create the X at the top, and then I'm going to continue around the back. So what you can do is anytime you feel like there's a wrinkle, you can always tear and restart. What I personally do is I do one figure eight like that, and then I get my angle really good to try to do a heel lock. Lock the heel, come round, lock the other heel, because one heel lock consists of one lock on either side, and then tear it. So I just did a figure eight and a heel lock on each side, and you have to do that twice. So you do figure eight, heel lock, figure eight, heel lock, heel lock. So you do 2 figure eights, 2 heel locks on each side. So then I'll do it again. And now, like, I kind of know the angle of Moret's foot, so I could probably do it a little quicker. And go round, lock the heel, lock the heel. Technically, that's like the main steps of your ankle taping, but to finish, you should always like cover up end strips. So what I always tell people to do is once you've done your last heel lock, you should continue all the way to the top so you don't have any kind of end strips, right? Oops. Personally, I always end like this, one strip at the bottom, and that's it. That's pretty much how you're gonna tape an ankle. But obviously you gotta do it in 2 minutes. Alright, so there shouldn't be many wrinkles. I have a wrinkle here, right? But there shouldn't be many wrinkles. This tape, although it's practice tape, it's harder to tear than good tape, which we have in the clinic. So you'll go into the clinic and you'll be like, that's really easy. But it actually wrinkles less, despite Mr. Nelson saying otherwise. It does. It wrinkles less because the quality's not as good, so that the ability for it to like twist just doesn't seem to be there. So it actually wrinkles less. So your taper should be quite clean. Now, when you want to remove it, you've got 2 options. You can either cut it with scissors, or you can use sharks. Now, if you've got socks on, you've got to be a little bit careful. I've cut through about 7 kids' socks, so I don't want to do it. But basically, when you use, it's just an ankle sock, right? I'll go to here and let you do the rest. But basically, with this, you've got the blade here. It won't hurt you, but probably easier for the person to do it themselves. You're just going to slide the blade down through like that, and it should slide. And you're supposed to go all the way around through the foot. If you have no socks on, it's easier to use these. If you have socks on, it's kind of like, well, am I cutting through the sock or just the tape, right? So with you, I'd go to where the sock is, which is about probably there, and then, use scissors. Use scissors. Here you go. Good luck.
Thank you.
These scissors are tape. They're not very strong, but they're curved, tuck underneath the tape. So they tuck underneath the tape. So they should be pretty good, but it just take a little bit of time.